Lu Xiaojun announces his return to weightlifting. The Mediterranean Games, the Bolivarian Games, the Luxembourg Women's Grand Prix, and 300 kilos for a set of 6 in the back squat. Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of the Weightlifting House News Show, the only weightlifting news show in the world. Okay, so the first thing we need to talk about is the fact that Lu Xiaojun, the GOAT, one of the best weightlifters of all time, certainly of the 21st century, has decided at the young age of 39 to return to the sport of weightlifting for one more quad. So he is a 3-time Olympic champion, 2012, 16, who he retroactively won, and then 2020 in 2021, and now he's coming for a 4th attempt. Now, what weight class he's going to be in is still yet to be determined, but let's take a quick look at his announcement video from the other day. Hello everyone, I'm Chinese weightlifter Lu Xiaojun. Okay, so he's going to start preparing for Paris. His 4th Olympics, yeah. Show the strength of China. I hope you'll support me. Oh, that's it, okay. So it says here that Lu took a long holiday to make up for the lost time with his family. Yesterday during the first Team China internal event, which he commentated for actually. I'm not going to go over that event today, I'll do that another time. Yeah, so he's currently weighing 74 kilos, which is pretty light for him. Now, of course, he was a 77 for a long period of time, so 74 doesn't seem too ridiculous, but then just because of the fact that he went up to 81, it just seems like a long... I mean, 81 down to 74 is about 9% of body weight, so that's an enormous cut for him, especially if he's then going to go to 73 and, you know, gain the required muscle that he needs to gain to be competitive as a 73. Not to mention the fact that he's going to have to beat Shi Ziyong, who's going absolutely nowhere, because why would he go nowhere? Because then if he were to go up to 89, he's going to have to compete against 3 guys that he doesn't want to have to compete against. Well, one of them who he could compete against, Lu Delin. But then we've got Li Dayan. He's not going to be easy to compete with at 89. He's younger, he's bigger. And then Tian Tao, who's got a clean and jerk that terrifies everybody. Even, you know, Miso Sona quakes in his boots when he thinks about Tian Tao's clean and jerk attempt when he makes them. So Lu, I imagine, is going to have to drop down to 73. He also told me in that interview we did that he finds the weight gain very taxing on his body. So, you know, what's the most we've seen from him recently? 74.07. 174 snatch, 207 clean and jerk. Those are the most that he's hit in the last 3 years. So at the Olympics, what did he do? He went over 170 and he went over 200. When he cuts down to 73, can he realistically go over 160 and over 190? Maybe. But that's, to me, that's going to be sort of max. 160, 162, 192, that kind of area. Shi Ziyong's going to do 170, 200 this quad probably. Maybe on separate occasions, but I can't see it happening. So, anyway, I'll leave that there for now. Next, the first of the several competitions that we want to get through is the 19th Mediterranean Games. Interestingly, there were 5 male events, or 5 male categories, the Olympic categories. So we had the 61, 73s, 89s, 102s, supers. On the women's side, they just had 3 categories, the 49s, 59s, 71s. Not even plus 71s, just 71. So if you weighed over 71, there was no space for you at this competition, which is really weird. I don't know why that happened. If anyone knows, let me know. But some really great lifting sort of snuck under the radar at this competition. I want to go through it, mainly to do with the Italians. So let's go through, I guess, the top 4 Italians as well as some other great lifters. Giulia Imperio, 49. She snatched 83, 97 clean and jerk. That's a 180 total. She did better there than she did at the European Championships. Lucrezia Magistris from, Italy, the 59. She snatched 95, she clean and jerked 114, that's a 209. Then we had Mirko Zani, the 73, snatched 150, which is great. 177 clean and jerk, but our boy, who you guys may well remember from the European Championships, who I just love now, he's a great lifter, Mohamed Furkan Ozbek, he hit 184. He did 190 at the European Champs, but he did 184 here. His teammate, who is like 8 years older than him, Karem Ben Nia, hit 185 and took the gold medal in the total. So shout out to the 2 lifters there from Tunisia. Then in the 89s, we saw the return of Antonino Pizzolato. You know what? I always say Antonino, but some people don't think I'm saying that second N. So maybe I should say Antonino. I'm going to start saying that. So 89 kilo Antonino Pizzolato returned, and he showed that it wasn't just a fluke what he did at the European Championships. Sure, he wasn't in quite the same shape. Sure, he probably wasn't anywhere near as fired up as he gets, because that man gets fired up when he competes. But he went 170, 172. Interestingly, he hit the 170, and then Karim Abokala from Egypt, who has done some huge training lifts. He showed me a 215 block clean video whilst I was at Worlds with him. He hit 171 in his third attempt, which forced Nino to just come out and hit 172 on his second attempt just to beat him, and then he passed in his third. And then he was pushed in the clean and jerk again. So Nino opened at 210 and missed it, but then he hit it on his second. Karim Abokala hit 212, so then Nino hit 213, and then Abokala came out for 214, which is an odd move. I guess he just wanted the kilo win. He could have gone for 215 and gone for the win and the total rather than just the clean and jerk, but he went for the 214 and he missed it. So a great battle there. 172, 213, 385 for Nino, 383 for Karim. Interestingly, the winning total in that 89 kilo category at the World Championships was 371. 2 people hit that, and then 1 person hit 370. So to have these 2 plus other athletes that we've seen, plus other athletes that we're going to see in a few minutes, all going over 370 so easily is very exciting for this new category. Next, 2 supers who definitely need to be mentioned from this competition. The first from Algeria, Walid Bedani. He snatched 202 kilos. So anytime anyone snatches over 200, it has to be mentioned, surely. He went 3 for 3 in the snatch, and then 3 for 3 in the clean and jerk was Assad Man from Syria, who, he is the strongest man in weightlifting, because of his name. That's terrible. 247 kilo clean and jerk, it's a great lift, but what's the most exciting thing about it is the speed of it. The speed that he attacks this weight from start to finish. The pull off the floor is fast, the pull under's quick, he stands it up with such aggression, it's amazing, and then the jerk's easy. So phenomenal lifting there from Assad Man. Next competition we're going to look at involves Loredana Toma as she returns from her country's ban. Romania had a ban since, I think it was April or May, 2021, so it's been just over a year. But before that, a quick reminder, the new maroon burgundy Weightlifting House training journal is here, and it is really very nice. So it's got this nice imprinted training journal, WH on the front, and then inside you can do all sorts. Every day you can document your training, you can talk about the sleep that you've had, nutrition, fatigue, session intention, exercises, plans, notes, all that sort of thing. And then at the start, oh, this is pretty nice, huh? Oof. Hello. Record training, train smarter, track trends, set records. Pretty sick. But yeah, at the start, it's got all these different pages that you need that help you how to use this journal, goal setting, tracking your progress, percentage charts at the end, which are really nice. So just a load of really useful stuff in there. It takes you through, if you look at goals, so specifically I'll measure this by, I can achieve this because this is relevant to my long-term goals because I will do this by date, and you fill those in for these different goals, and just by going through that process it makes all the difference. And you've got the blank charts to fill in if you want to plot various things over time, or maybe not over time. Maybe you are a pro level grapher and you actually use the x-axis for something different. If that's you, fair play to you, because I don't do that. Because actually what I do is use Weightlifting AI, so I don't have to plot those things because it does it for me. But for those of you who don't, the training journal is pretty sick, so grab one of them. I'll put a link down below for you. Okay, so back over to Loredana. She hasn't competed internationally since European Championships 2021, and she just turned up at this competition in Luxembourg. She snatched 114. She was weighing 67 kilos, so the world record in the 71s is 117. I think it's a world standard, I'm pretty sure. So she's just 3 kilos off there. She had to save it. It was actually a really exciting lift to watch. She then put on 135 for the clean and jerk. She did her classic kind of Toma shuffle where, the front foot doesn't move until the back foot is planted. Then it moves forward. She had to put a lot of pressure on that front leg to save it, but she's got such a lengthy split that she's kind of able to hold that position a little bit better without pushing that front knee too far forward. Really nice lift. So yeah, at 67 kilos, certainly still one of the top in the world. Next, let's take a look at the 19th Bolivarian Games. So there are some amazing athletes here from South America, and I figured I wanted to just go through some of the most exciting lifts from this competition. The first one, 67 kilo Francisco Mosquera from Colombia, 183 kilo clean and jerk. Now the world record is 188. That's Pak Jong-ju from North Korea, 2019, I believe. But 183 is just enormous for someone at 67. What's triple body weight? Triple body weight would be 201. Okay, yeah, that's not happening. Yeah, I just made that lift seem way less impressive by even trying to compare it to a 3 times body weight. Very sorry, Francisco. 183 is amazing. So there's that one. Then at 73, we had from Venezuela, Julio Mayora, one of my favorite 73s in the world. 160 snatch. He beat Luis Mosquera, the Olympic silver medalist, by 10 kilos in the snatch. He did 150. Julio Mayora then went on to hit 185, which is, it's a little bit off, the top of the top. We're looking at sort of mid-90s. Oh, no, we're not though, are we? We're looking at low 90s basically for the best. And then there's Shi Ziyong, high 90s. So 185 along with the 160 is very, very good total there. Then in the 89s, we have Brian Rodriguez, who took a medal also at the Olympic Games in the 81s from Colombia. He's now an 89, so he's one of these many talented weightlifters who've just moved up from the 81s to the 89s, the new Olympic category, and is demolishing previous 89 kilo athletes' bests. He snatched 170, so there's another 89 doing 170, and he clean and jerk 205. So he got the yellows on in the clean and jerk also. 375, yet another athlete to beat the world champion total from last year of 371. Another person who's going to be able to do it is Kedemar Vallanilla from Venezuela. He's still competing at 96, but he looks like he probably weighs about 91 at the moment. He's cut a lot of weight. He snatched 167, which is a little low for him, but then he clean and jerked 210. And presumably he's going to be able to hold that kind of weight, I'd imagine, when he gets down to 89. So if he can push 70, 170, 210 as well, and be hitting that 380, I mean, that category is just going to be insane. We've talked a lot about this category on the Weightlifting House podcast. If you're not listening to that, head over to Spotify or the Google, Apple podcast app, or wherever you get your podcasts. We're doing weekly episodes. It's me, Max, sometimes Josh. We're answering your guys' questions. We're just talking about weightlifting. So it's a whole lot of fun. But we've spoken about the 89s, in depth there. Next, let's go over to the women's side of this. It was actually whilst I was going through the women's competitions that I realised that by loads of people's names, it said the word in all capitals, cabbage, like Cabbage. I was so confused. Like, why does it say cabbage? It would say like ECU for Ecuador or VEN for Venezuela. And then next to all the Colombians, it was saying cabbage. And what I realized happened was that at the top of the page, Google very helpfully said, do you want to translate from Spanish to English? And I'd click the button that says, yes, always. What it is that it couldn't translate ECU because ECU is not a word in Spanish, so it just kept it as ECU for Ecuador. But col in Spanish means cabbage. Who'd have known? So all these lifters don't lift for cabbage, they lift for Colombia. And it was just a funny little mistake. So at 59, we have Jenny Alvarez from Colombia. She snatched 98, which is a huge snatch at 59. She done clean and jerked 120. Phenomenal lifting there. The 64, Natalie Mosquera, also from Colombia, 105 snatch, which at 64, that's big. I mean, what was the winning snatch at the Olympics? It was definitely in that sort of, we might have seen like a 107 actually at the Olympics. But anyway, 105 is enormous. So shout out to Natalie Mosquera for that. And then Angel de Homez from Ecuador in the 71s, 112 snatch, which is really, that's up there. That is really up there with the best in the world. So those three lifters, I was blown away by their snatches in particular. Clean jerks were great, but yeah, 98, 105, 112. We didn't see a lot of that in Europe at the Europeans. So, in fact, we didn't see anyone hit those numbers at Europeans. So that is really something pretty special. Okay, let's now take a quick look at some of the biggest lifts outside of these competitions. Like I mentioned, the Chinese had their test event. I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'm going to save that for another time because it's just too much. But I did want to mention a lift out of China. So Lu Xiaojun, 59 kilo athlete. You may remember her from the 2020 Chinese Nationals. You may not. That's quite a niche thing to know. She did 103, 130 there. And it was like a whole thing because she was 19 years old and she just smashed it. And she was a 59. It's like, what in the world? How do you do that 59 when you're 19? But she did. Well, she's returned with a video where she jerks 150 off the blocks, which is 10 kilos over the world record by Kuo Sing-chen, 140. Kuo has done 142, but that was at 58. But at 59, it's 140. So it's 10 kilos over that for a jerk. Whether she can clean anything close to 150, probably not. But whether she can clean and jerk close to 140, maybe. But also, I know 59 is an Olympic category, isn't it? It is. Yeah, 59, 49, 59, 71, 81 super. Yeah. Okay, so she could actually stay there and put some pressure on Quo. I'd love to see that. Quo gets off too light, I think. She gets off too light. We've got a video about Quo coming out, actually, which is really, really fun to make, talking about her technique and her strength. She's so phenomenal. Okay, next we have Revas Devotadze, 211 clean and jerk in training, which I think is his PR. I did a little interview with him at the World Championships last year, and he told me about his best lifts, and I can't quite remember, but I have a feeling that it was 207 or 208, so 211 is a new best for him, so shout out to Revas for that. Then over in Australia, we have Aileen Tikumatana, 81 kilo lifter. I think she's 81 because she's weighing like 83 at the moment. She's going to be over here in the next week or so, I imagine, for the Commonwealth Games, which are happening like 2 miles that way. My road that I live on is being shut down because I live in the centre of Birmingham, and that's where the Commonwealth Games are going to be. So that's cool. But she hit a 140 kilo clean, plus hand clean, plus jerk, which is good. I mean, that's going to be enough to win, surely. Not that she's going to hand clean it, because that would be really weird. And it would also be a no lift. But I think she's clearly in pretty good shape. Next we have CJ Cummings from the USA. X73, moved up to 81. Last I heard, and I don't know how much truth there is to this, I heard that at Nationals he weighed something like 83.5 the day before, and then didn't want to cut, and so that's why he didn't compete. That could also not be true, but I heard that from, one of the top coaches in the country, who I have no reason to doubt. But maybe he misheard. But yeah, 83.5 apparently CJ was the other day. So whether he's going to drop back down to 73 or go up to 89 for the Olympics, I don't know. But he just hit a sensational set of front squats, 205 kilos for a set of 5, which is just mental. He has a best of 250, so we're looking at 81% of his best for a set of 5, which I guess makes sense. But when it's, the absolute weight is so high, it just makes it seem more impressive. Next we have Emily Campbell from Great Britain, who I cannot wait to see smash it at the Commonwealth Games in a few weeks. 120 for 1.5 snatches. Now we say 1.5 because she said 1.5, and you just don't disagree with Emily. But what it was is she made the first rep. On the second rep, she does catch it. She holds it there, sort of pauses, wobbles, and then loses it. So it's a miss. She made it for a single. It's a miss, I understand. Some of you are going to say, how can you even say that? Okay, just say it. It just is what it is. But it was close, so we're going to call it 1.5. I would love to... I don't think she has a tremendous amount of competition there. I don't want to put pressure on her, although I just have done, so apologies, Emily, if you're watching. But, I think she's in a great position to do something pretty good there. And then I wanted to finish off from one strong athlete to another strong athlete. Mart Seim returns. You all remember Mart Seim. He strict pressed 150 for 5. He back squatted one. Well, he back squatted 1 rep at 400 kilos. That's how I could say it. 400 for 1. And now he's just done 300 kilos for a set of 6, which is high volume. That's a lot of force that man can produce. I don't know how many supers in the world can do that. I doubt it's that many. It might even be just him right now who could do that. Maybe Gore. Maybe Lalian. I don't know if Lasher could do it, honestly. Maybe he could. He's done, 320? 5 for a single that looked good, 315 for a triple maybe that looked good. So I don't know though. Certainly not like Mark can do it. So just really exceptional lifting from him. I really hope we see him get back into proper shape again at some point. There's been a rubber here this whole time in shot. Brilliant. And now I'm getting calls. So that probably means that I need to go and do something else because Weightlifting House doesn't run off news shows, unfortunately. All right, guys, I better wrap this bad boy up. Go grab yourselves a Weightlifting House training hall. They are amazing. We have them now in maroon/burgundy and also our Weightlifting House dark blue. I'm in the Tokyo t-shirt, which is just the sickest design. Love this top, especially because we're in a heat wave right now. It's perfect. And also, don't forget, head over to weightlifting.ai and join the fastest growing, the most exciting, the best team in weightlifting and get coaching from Max Ater, Joshua Gibson, myself, Joanne Ater, and other team of coaches that we have on there, and get individualized program that responds to you on a moment-by-moment basis. There is no better way to get your training for weightlifting. We'll put a link to that down below, and you can try it out for free. No payment details required. You don't have to put in any of the details, and that is code 2weektrial, TWO week trial. That's WEEK. I'm not calling you weak. It's not like you're too weak. TOOWEAK. the 2-week trial. That's really funny. Maybe we should do that, and it's actually like a 6-week discount because you're 2 weeks. So we just got to get you strong. So it's not 2-week. It's 2-week trial at weightlifting.ai. We'll see you guys on there.